Jesus don't.
Because Jesus is God. He doesn't need God to do anything for him if he is God.
Okay, so why he say by myself I can do nothing?
Because the Son doesn't work without the Spirit or the Father.
But he said
They
everything you see,
cannot.
I
It's
do it
not
in
that
the name
he
of
relies on,
my
yeah.
Father.
It's because you're interpreting that as if God doesn't work through me, I can't do anything. But that's not what Jesus is saying. When we read the context, he's saying of myself, I can do nothing because Jesus doesn't work alone. He works with the Father and the Spirit.
I got you. So I heard you was quoting some verses in the Quran. Can you repeat that verse again?
I didn't give any verses. I just said where it calls
Yeah, like
non-believers the worst of all creation.
non-believers. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. Most of the Quran talks about the condemnation of the non-believers. Doesn't really talk about the
Yeah, that's
believers too
true.
much.
Disbeliever, they choose to be disbelievers, so they deserve everything.
Right. You think that I know the truth, but for some odd reason, though I know it to be true, I just deny it and am making myself a fool.
But
And
this
I'm
is the
weak.
thing.
But apart from being a woman.
This is the thing, though. If you choose to be a disbeliever, or you deny any prophet of God, like you shouldn't have problem with getting punishment after you die or stuff like that because you deny a prophet of God.
I don't deny a prophet of God if it's a false prophet. You're going to have to convince me pretty hard for me to believe that Muhammad is a prophet of God.
So you say Deuteronomy 18:18, you're saying is Moses. Is Jesus. How is Jesus?
Because Jesus says it was him. And they also, his people that were around him also said, I think it was in John chapter 4, where they said, this is he of who is to come into the world.
That's the prophecy. So the prophecy, if you go in the
Yeah,
top,
and
you
they're
might
saying,
talk about
look,
Jesus.
this is who they say is to come into the world. So they're saying, look, this is the prophecy fulfilled.
And he said in their brethren. The brethren is not the Israelite. The brethren is the Ishmaelite.
Right. So when Jesus says in John chapter 5 that if you believe Moses, you believe me, for he wrote of me. Right, so then we have
Yeah,
to
he wrote
assume
about
that
Jesus.
Moses
Yeah.
wrote about Jesus. So what did he say about Jesus?
No, I don't know the prophecy about Jesus, but I know the prophecy about Prophet Muhammad a lot in the Bible.
Okay. So
Even
Muhammad
Hey,
doesn't
what's
really
up,
have a
Ibara?
place.
How are you, brother?
bro, what's
Right,
up, bro?
so
Stop blocking me, bro.
tell me what, so you
Unmad this
don't,
dude.
so here's the
Unmad
thing.
him.
You haven't read the prophecy. So if you haven't read it, you don't even know what it says, but you're going to assume that it's about Muhammad without even reading it.
I read that
That's
every
what
day.
I'm
I
hearing.
read prophecy about
So what
Muhammad.
is the prophet? So in Deuteronomy 18:18, what else does it say?
Let me open it up.
So if you
I will
don't
raise up
know,
a
but
prophet like
you're presupposing it's about Muhammad without even reading it.
God is talking to Moses, right? He said, I will raise a prophet like you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like who? Like Moses.
Yep.
Among their
Jesus was
brethren.
like Moses.
I will
I
put
just
my
watched a
word in
video on
his
this.
mouth.
Red Letter. I think his name is Red Letter Apologetics. Good guy.
Okay, let me tell you this. And I will put his word in my mouth. And he will tell them everything that I command. Jesus didn't tell everything that he command.
How do you know that?
Because he
Who
preached
told
only
you
3
that?
years. He preached
So
only
was
3 years.
God's word to condemn non-believers for 67% of the time?
Is that what?
Right. So God's word is to condemn people who don't believe in Him 67% of the time.
Bro.
Why don't we? So I'm gonna read it, all of it. I'm almost there.
Brett,
I'm using my Xbox computer.
I'm gonna head out. I gotta do some things for the day. I just wanted to get on here and show some love.
You're good. Appreciate ya.
No, bro.
All right, you too. I'll see you later.
Bye. All right.
Bro,
So it says, "I will raise up for them a
Why you
prophet
me, bro?
like you from among their brothers." So it's not Ishmael, right? Because they weren't considered. He was considered a foreigner, not a brother. Brothers is like fellow citizens, right? Not outsiders. So we know it's not Ishmael.
That's a sin if you say that. That's a
And
sin.
I will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak to them all that I command him. And whoever will not listen to my word that he shall speak in my name, I myself will require it of him. But the prophet who presumes to speak a word in my name that I have not commanded him to speak, or who speaks in the name of other gods, that same prophet shall die. Now let me ask you a question. Did Muhammad ever speak in the name of other gods?
No.
He didn't. Okay.
It
So when he
the symbol.
goes, no. So when he goes to Mecca and he's trying to spread his message to the pagans that were living there. He never mentioned any of their gods' names, ever.
Never.
Never. You sure about that?
Never. He never worshipped. When he was a kid, he never...
Not worshipped, mentioned.
Mentioned their God? Nah, don't do that.
He did do that, though. You ever heard of the Satanic Verses?
Satanic Verses in the Quran? Nah.
Mohammed says, have you ever considered... It's like Al something. He mentions the deities that these pagans worshipped to convince them to follow Allah. But a prophet who's from God would never even consider that kind of tactic.
So what are you talking about? Where is it?
Muhammad mentions the names of other gods.
Where? In the Quran or Hadith?
The 3 cranes.
Where is it?
Where is it? Hold on, let me Google search this shit real quick because I don't remember their exact names. Let me not do this a long way. Hold up.
Bro, you're coming, bro. They are funny, bro. You're like, oh, Allah talks only Arabic.
Well, what's your native language? Can I ask?
I speak a lot of languages. I speak French.
No, like what's your first language? Like what's the language that you spoke growing up?
English.
English?
Yeah.
Okay. So why don't you? Right. So a Muslim can't worship Allah by saying God. Why is that? Why do you have to say it in Arabic?
No, you can say God if you want.
Okay, so I can say there's only one God. The only true God is God.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's see.
So what are you looking for? It doesn't exist. So.
No, I'm looking for the names of the other gods that Muhammad mentions.
I know what you're talking about. That's the pre-Islam. They don't have nothing to do with Prophet Muhammad.
It's not pre-Islam, but it doesn't matter whether it's pre-Islam or not.
You need to show me a hadith or in the Quran that Muhammad worshipped other god other than Allah.
I'm not saying that he worshipped them. I'm saying he mentioned them.
Like, let's say you're born in a Christian household. Like, you never know anything about
what I'm saying. Let's see.
Islam. Like,
I'm saying that no, because I don't think you're hearing me right. What I'm saying is that it's not that Muhammad worshipped these gods or acknowledged them as true gods, but when he already knew, right, that he was a prophet, and then he tried to share to the pagans, and in sharing to the pagans, he mentioned their gods to try to get them to follow Allah. Here we go. It says Al-Lat, Manat, and Al-Uzza. Thank you, everyone. I should have been reading. He mentioned those gods.
This is the pre-Islam. So you can say Allah.
Doesn't matter if it's pre-Islam.
Let me tell you this. Like, those people are Ismailite. There was like a Ismail descendant. So they know God already.
It was not. So why? So if Muhammad, so you're saying that Muhammad, no, because you're sitting here saying that Muhammad mentioned other gods before he went and said he was a prophet.
Wait, let me finish. Like, those people who worship in Pagan, they know Allah already. But you know what the problem is? They didn't know the way to worship him, so that's why they use idol.
Yeah, they did. Then after Muhammad had received his special revelation, he went around mentioning their names to people.
If you go to some Christian churches, they have idol in their churches.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Muhammad mentioning these 3 pagan deities.
Well, you know, you will never
find
anywhere in the Hadith or the Quran say a lot.
Are you sure?
Ibarra, may I ask just out of curiosity what idols you're specifically referring to? If a Christian goes into a church, and what idol are they worshiping?
Like the Mary idol or the Jesus. You can find them in some churches.
Well, I can agree that some people worship Mary as an idol. But here we go. Let's see.
Yeah. Well, I think he might be misconstrued. You know what the word I'm trying to use is. I'm not being able to pronounce it right now. I think he's misunderstanding Christianity from Catholicism, because Catholicism, they they pray to Mary and they believe that Mary was sinless, as Christians do not.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
But the Satanic Verses are the words of satanic suggestion which the prophet Mohammed is alleged to have mistaken for divine revelation. The verses praise the three pagan Meccan goddesses Al-Lat, Al-Uzza, and Manat, and can be read in the biographies and
So
the
where are you reading from?
tafsirs. From the tafsirs of Al-Tabari.
So what verse is it?
It is Quran 53:19 through 20. Have you thought of Al-Lat and Al-Uzza and about the third deity, Al-Manat? Or however the heck you say it. I don't want to mispronounce those.
Quran 53?
Yeah.
What?
19 and 20. Somebody said go to 53:23 as well. Hold on, I gotta make a new tab.
And then somebody also said, true, even the Quran says that Mary was sinless as well.
No, does it?
I had no idea.
Wouldn't know.
Right. I just have while you guys are looking it up, I have a quick question about because I personally I have only read, let's say, 3 chapters of the Quran. It was all mixed up. It was so long ago that I couldn't even tell you what chapters, verses it was.
Yeah.
To my understanding, if Jesus Christ was just a prophet out of the Quran, I'm curious as to in the Quran, are there any other prophets that fulfilled 300 prophecies?
300 prophecy that Jesus fulfilled?
No. My question is in the Quran, are there any other prophets that fulfilled 300 prophecies?
Yeah, a lot of prophets did more than Jesus. Jesus didn't do a lot. He was running for 3 years.
Oh, that's my grandma. It's her birthday. Woohoo! It's me as a child.
Awesome.
Yeah, happy
I
birthday.
meant to put another thing.
Happy birthday, Grandma.
She's 73.
Nice. That's a good life.
Read 17. Look, read 53, 17, and you read 18
what?
to 19. Read 53, 17. Quran 53, 17.
17.
Yeah, and you read 19.
The prophet's sight never wandered, nor did it overreach. He certainly saw some of his Lord's greatest signs. Now have you considered the idols of Lat and Uzza, and the third one, Manat, as well? Do you have sons while you attribute to him daughters? Then this is truly a biased distribution. These are mere names that you and your forefathers have made up. A practice Allah has never authorized. They follow nothing but their soul's desire, although guidance has already come to them from their Lord. Or should every person simply have whatever intercessions they desire? In fact, to Allah alone belongs this world and to the next.
You understand now?
Yeah, so he's saying that these idols are true. They exist.
They existed, but Prophet Muhammad never worshipped them. It didn't have anything to do with them.
So how many gods are there?
That's why he destroyed them.
How many gods are there?
I don't know, bro. Ask the pagans. I think there was like Lat and Uzza, whatever there was.
Well, Muhammad just says, do you think that those pagans, like the gods, do you think they exist?
They did exist. There was.
So they were real.
They are not God. There was like some paganism stuff. You know, pagan, they worship something that doesn't exist.
You and I would agree, right? Pagans are polytheists who don't have the truth. That's one thing that we can agree on, right?
So
would you at least agree with that?
Agree with what? Like paganism?
Paganism is polytheism.
Maybe, I don't know. I think Abraham was
right. Because what was Mecca before, right, spiritually, before Muhammad conquered Mecca?
Like Mecca was to be a worship, like he'd been a worship place like 1,000 years before Prophet Muhammad. But people forgot. They don't know because they didn't have no book to keep the religion.
What I'm saying is that
religion.
Mecca was a pagan place before Muhammad conquered it.
Yeah, it was.
Right. So why does he need to mention the names of their pagan idols? Right? Because even Jesus went to places that were
Well,
pagan, but he didn't ever mention their gods.
Bro, this talk
God.
about the
well,
pagan so they can worship more Prophet Muhammad.
Did it work?
It worked, yeah. There is no pagan.
Well, yeah. What did they do? People that didn't believe in Islam, what did they do to them?
Bro, okay, let me tell you this. The pagan was
they killed
judged.
him.
Thank you.
They killed him.
Yeah, bro. So let me
Slaughtered them like animals.
bro. So let me tell you this.
Am I lying?
Bro, shut up, bro. Don't talk to me. Talk to Brandon.
I'm simple. Am I lying? If I'm lying, tell me I'm
Yes,
lying.
you're lying, bro. You're lying.
Okay. Let's get the hadith. Let's get
There's
the
also
hadith.
a
Sahih
hadith that talks
al-Bukhari.
about. Go ahead. While you do it,
Hey, yo,
right?
Brandon, let
That
me tell you this.
one day the Jews are going to make a tree. Even the trees are going to show all the Muslims where the Jews are, so they can.
Okay, let me tell you this.
But there's going to be
Moses,
one tree that you know.
let me ask you this.
Is
Did
unfaithful.
Moses went to war against his enemies?
Did Moses go to war against his enemies?
Yeah.
You tell me. Have you read the
And
Bible
God
before?
commanded him to kill all the boys and the women and keep the virgin for himself. Did
That's
he
not
do
what
that?
that means.
Did God tell Muhammad to do all that though?
Exactly, same thing.
No,
Because
I'm asking. God told Moses to do that. Did God tell Muhammad
So-
to do that?
yes,
Where?
Let's go to.
Well, anyway,
let's
I
go
want to
to
hear
the
the. I
Quran.
want to hear the hadith.
bro,
Okay.
orders, bro.
So this
Bro,
is Sahih al-Bukhari. So it's Sahih. It's good. It's perfect. There's no problem here. This is Sahih al-Bukhari 7175. Salim. Wait, it's 7175, right? Okay. Wait, I think I'm reading Sahih Muslim. Wait.
bro,
hold
don't
on.
embrace yourself, bro.
Oh, you're talking about. Okay. I'm trying to find it to make sure that I
You don't
don't
respect
misrepresent
yourself.
your
That's why you
point.
jump here and trying to talk like you need some.
Nah, bro, I'm trying to be nice, but
Bro,
if
I
you
don't
want
want
me
to be
to,
nice with you. We can
I
you
want
don't
to
want
hear
me
the
to be
hadith.
nice.
I want
we
to
can
hear
meet
the
in
hadith. Why
another
can't we be
life.
nice?
In Bring the Life, I won't say anything about Christianity, but we can meet to another
Yes,
life.
you do. You say like you act like we don't know who you are. You've done it many
I don't care if you
times.
know me. You want to see me?
Yeah, so don't
Hijab
stop acting
girls.
innocent.
You can't fool me, boy.
You can't fool us. We know how you are. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm not like you and misrepresent
No,
your
if I go to the
sources. I'm
Bible, you're
trying to
gonna
actually
cry,
make
bro.
sure that I represent your sources accurately.
Bro, meet yourself. Let me finish with Brin, and you find your thing and come back.
No, hold on. No,
Don't tell
the
me to
hadith
hold
is
on.
on the tip of my tongue.
Drop him.
Someone's phone's
With
going
his
off.
Android.
That's my phone.
He got
Sorry.
Android, bro, and he's trying to.
It don't
Yeah.
matter.
Sorry,
It's not a material.
yeah. Sorry, it's Sahih al-Bukhari. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I said it's Sahih al-Bukhari 7157. So
Wait, bro, wait. Wait, let me find it. Sahih al-Bukhari, what?
What's a kafir?
7157. He's a kafir.
Yeah, I'm a proud kafir.
Bro, Bendo, why you say that?
Because the way that y'all talk about
Yes.
us.
Sahih al-Bukhari, what?
7175. So I said 7175, 7157. My mistake.
Oh, you cannot.
7157.
Can you drop this dude, bro? I don't have no respect for you, Brittany. Okay, read it, bro.
So are you there?
Read it.
So narrated Abu Musa. A man embraced Islam and then reverted back to Judaism. Muad bin Jabal came and saw the man with Abu Musa. Muad asked, "What is wrong with this man?" Abu Musa replied, "He embraced Islam and then reverted back to Judaism." Muad said, "I will not sit down unless you kill him, as it is the verdict of Allah and his apostle." So he was restless. He said, "Nah, I'm not going to rest until you kill him, because that's what Allah and his apostle have said."
So, okay.
So they killed them and they slaughtered them.
Alright. What's wrong with it?
I never said anything is wrong.
Bro,
You said I was lying. I just showed you the
let me
verse.
tell you this, bro. You fighting your enemies. Like,
Quran
let's say,
8:12. I shall cast terror
Where does
into
it
the
say these
hearts
are
of
the
the
enemies?
infidels.
wait,
Strike
let's
off
say
their heads,
Muslims
strike off
fighting
the
the
very
Jews.
tips of their fingers. Let not the unbelievers think they will ever get away. They have not the power to do so. Muster against them all the men and calibrate your commands, so that you may strike terror into the enemy of Allah and your enemy. Quran 8:59 and 60. Prophet, make war on the unbelievers and the hypocrites and deal rigorously with them. Hell shall be their home, an evil fate. Quran 9:73. Believers, make war on the infidels who dwell around you. Deal firmly with them. Know that God is with the righteous. Quran 9:123. Believers, take neither the Jews nor the Christians for your friends. They are friends with one another. Quran 5:51. He that chooses a religion over Islam, it will not be accepted from him, and in the world to come he will be one of the lost. Quran 3:85. Right? Let not believers make friends with infidels in preference to the faithful. He that does this has nothing to hope for from good, except in self-defense. God admonishes you to fear him, for to God shall all return. Quran 3:28. Garments of fire have been prepared for the unbelievers. Scalding water shall be poured upon their heads, melting their skins, and that which is in their bellies. They shall be lashed with rods of iron. Mohammed is God's apostle. Those who follow him are ruthless to the unbelievers, but merciful to one another. Quran 48:29. Believers, know that the idolaters, aka non-Muslims, are unclean. Let them not approach the sacred mosque after this year is ended. Quran 9:28.
It sounds like
The
when you read
unbelievers
it,
among the people of the book, the Bible, and the pagan shall burn forever in the fire of the bad place. They are the vilest of all creatures. Quran 98:6.
so he
Here's the
was
difference,
reading.
though. The
He
Bible
was
doesn't
reading in
call it a
Islamophobes side,
non-believer.
but it's
So,
fine. It's fine. Let me
right. So
explain.
here's what I'm saying. No, I'm going to say, so in the Bible, God never says that people that don't believe him are the vilest of all creation.
You want me to
Do you
find that in the
believe that
Bible?
I was made in the image of God, but yet I'm the vilest of all creatures?
You want
So
me to
to
find that
call
in the
me
Bible?
vile,
I'm
well,
not
what
here
I'm
for the
saying
Bible
is,
today.
I
I
understand, but
can
what I'm
find it. I
saying
can
is that
find it in the Bible right now.
if God is going to call me vile for not believing in him, he's calling his own creation vile.
But God loves you right now. But after you die, he
No,
won't
he
love you
doesn't.
anymore
He
because you don't
hates
believe in
me.
him.
I'm a kafir. He hates me.
You're a kafir. Why you put yourself in a kafir? You know what kafir means?
I know what
It
it
means like it's
means. And
atheist,
I'm a
like
proud
who don't
kafir.
believe
No,
in
it doesn't.
anything.
No, it's anyone
Kafir
who's
is
not a
those people who
Muslim.
doesn't believe of anything. That's what kafir means.
It means that I am not a Muslim. Yeah?
Yeah, you can be a kafir.
Against
It's fine.
kuffars, make ready
Why you
your
want to go to
strength to
hell?
the utmost of your power, including steeds of war, to strike terror into the hearts of the enemy of Allah. Anyone who does not believe in him is an enemy of him, and your enemy, and others beside whom you may not know, but whom Allah does know. Whatever you shall spend in the cause of Allah shall be repaid to you, and you shall not be treated unjustly. Quran 8:60. It's a negative connotation of anyone who doesn't believe in Allah and Muhammad. It's a derogatory term still used in like
Yeah,
Europe
something like
today.
what Allah commanded to Moses did.
Right. So you're a non-believer, right? What do I call you?
Me, I'm Muslim. I'm a believer. I believe
Yeah,
in
but
Allah.
like, do I
But you're a
call you
disbeliever.
evil
That's it.
names? Do I think of you as less valuable than me as a human being?
No,
Do I
all
try to
human beings.
strike terror into you? Am I firm with you? Am I
The verse
unloving
you was
towards you?
reading is the battle, is the war between Prophet Muhammad and the pagan and the Jews. That was they
I
trying to
understand, right? But
unalive him.
where in the Bible does it tell us to treat non-believers with hate?
I know, I can tell, bro, I know if it wasn't Islam, you will never get Christianity. Never. Islam
But
made
I'm saying,
Christianity stronger.
where does the Bible tell me to treat someone who doesn't believe in the same thing that I do with hate?
Okay,
It's not about which is right now.
go to the Bible. Yahweh say, I love
Have I
Jacob,
ever?
but Esau I hate.
Yes,
Why
but
he
that's
hate
God
Esau?
speaking.
Why he
Because
hate
it says that
Esau?
he didn't include him in the covenant.
No, wait, why he hate Esau?
He didn't include Esau in the covenant. Because
Because
if
he
you
was a
know anything
disbeliever,
about
right?
Esau, what he was, because his actions did. So because of his actions, God
Yeah,
was
his
like,
action
never
make him a
mind.
disbeliever.
That's
Yeah,
true.
so he hate Esau.
Because
So
the
God don't like
context of love and
disbelievers.
hate, it wasn't literally a gur, right? It doesn't literally mean that God hated him.
But he said Esau.
Because of
He never
Esau's
said something
rejection
like that in
towards
the
God,
Quran.
God chose not to show love towards him in the sense of a personal relationship. It doesn't mean that he literally
But let me tell
hated him
you,
in the connotation that you're talking about.
if you want someone to love you, you have to prove him that you love him. So if you don't love God, what are you gonna do for? He don't have nothing to do with you. He just let you live your life, enjoy it,
Allah
and
hates me, but yet
and He
I
gonna
still
deal
have
with
a
you.
roof over my head. Allah hates me, but I still have a car to go to work
Yeah,
every
it makes
day. I
sense.
still have money in the bank. So he must love me enough to bless me with those kinds of things, right?
Yeah, everybody get blessing. The Hindu, everyone in the world, everyone.
Right,
Maybe
but I'm
the
a
Muslim get
kafir.
less.
So what benefit do I get?
Just
You're a
on earth.
kafir.
You can enjoy your life on earth.
I should make that. I should put that in my bio.
So
You can enjoy
Brinkley,
your
let
life.
me also show you about the
Bro,
Satanic
shut up. Let me finish
Verses.
my.
No, don't be mean.
No,
I gotta go in like 20 minutes
We're
anyway.
talking about the Satanic Verses, and I wanted to bring up
We were.
evidence. So this is the one of the earliest historians, closest to the time of the apostle. His name is Al-Tabari. And this is in his book. He writes like 10 volumes of Islamic history, and this is his book in volume 6. Right. So this is what he says. Y'all can hear me?
Yes, I'm just sending a text really quick, but I can still hear you.
Yeah. So this is what it says. It says, when the messenger of God saw how his tribe turned their backs on him, and was grieved to see them shunning the message he had brought to them from God, he longed in his soul that something would come to him from God, which would reconcile him with his tribe, with his love for his tribe and his eagerness for their welfare, that it would have delighted him if some of the difficulties which they made for him could have been smoothed out. And he debated with himself, and fervently desired such an outcome. Then God revealed, by the star when it sets, your comrade does not err, nor is he deceived, nor does he speak out of his own desire. And when he came to the words, have you thought upon Alat and Al-Uzza and Manat, the third, the other? Satan cast on his tongue, because of his inner debate and what he desired to bring to his people, the words, these are the high-flying cranes. Verily their intercession is accepted with approval. When Quraysh heard this, they rejoiced and were happy and were delighted at the way in which he spoke of their gods, and they listened to him, while the Muslims, having complete trust in their prophet in respect of the messages which he brought from God, did not suspect him of error, illusion, or mistake. When he came to the prostration, having completed the surah, he prostrated himself, and while the Muslims did likewise, following their prophet, trusting in the message which he had brought, and following upon his example. So while Allah is revealing a verse that Muhammad doesn't make an error, according to the one of the earliest historians, Satan makes him commit an error. Isn't that ironic? Allah is revealing the verse that's supposed to say that Muhammad cannot make an error. But then Satan now casts an error on Muhammad's tongue, and he speaks it. And no Muslim thinks that this is wrong, and they just accept it. So yeah, it's real. The Satanic Verses are real. And your earliest Muslim scholars, those who were closest to the time of the Prophet, knew that was right. So what's up? I thought your prophet could not get deceived.
When he was talking, boy, it was 80 people. Look at now, it's 60. 20 people left because of you. You're making no sense, bro. You're reading something
That's not true. They want to leave on their own will.
But there was.
So are you going to explain why God is revealing a verse about your prophets not being able to make mistakes while he's making a mistake?
So find me one mistake in the Quran.
I just told you.
I will be Christian now.
I just gave you an example. Okay, let me give you one.
Find one mistake in the Quran. I will be Christian.
The Quran says in Surah chapter 9 verse 30. The Quran says in Surah chapter 9 verse 30 that the Jews believe that Ezra is the son of God. You cannot point to me one Jew in history that has ever believed that Ezra is the son of God. Your hadith also say that they worship Ezra as the son of God. You cannot point to me one Jew that has said they worship Ezra as the son of God.
That's a bad argument, bro. But the Jews believe that David is the son of God. Ezra is the son of God. Isaiah is the son of God.
Show
All
me
those
who says
people,
it.
they believe there was a son of God in your Bible. What are you
Show
talking
me.
about, bro?
Show me. Show me where it says
Let me
Ezra
show
is
you
the
the
son of
list
God.
of the son of God in the Bible.
Can you show me where it says Ezra is the son of God?
Bro, just wait, bro. Yo, go ask the Jews.
Show me. I'm asking you to show me. Give
Bro, wait,
me
bro.
one Jew. Because even the thing is that
So
the
what are you
evidence
gonna
we
do by
have from
saying, bro?
the Jews at the time of the prophet is that they hated Ezra. The Yemeni Jews hated Ezra.
I just want to know which Ezra he's talking about, or which Ezra the Quran is talking about, because he doesn't tell us.
Bro, you don't believe in the Quran. Why would they tell you?
Well, if
Because
it's
it's
going to be
important.
laying a condemnation towards the Jews and the Christians, it should know what we actually believe and what we're actually talking about. So it should. And you
Enters
still haven't
Jeremiah.
really answered Odishi's particular claim about the Satanic Verses. You haven't dealt with that at all.
Bro, that verse is clear. You read the explanation and you're trying to tell me to explain you what? To explain you what? You already read the explanation.
That
What
Muhammad was deceived by
explanation?
Satan.
He was reading the explanation about what happened in the verse.
So you agree?
Exactly. So in the very passage where God is supposed to promise Muhammad that he can't make a mistake in reciting apparently his word, Satan overpowers Allah's inspiration and
Bro,
puts
Muhammad is just a
words
man,
in
bro.
your prophet's mouth. Something that the pagans accepted, but the Muslims didn't see as an error and just went along with it because they didn't see an error with it. So that's a problem. Satan interacts with your prophet and corrupts your prophet's words, and your followers don't recognize that it's wrong. It's only after the fact that you guys try to take things out of the Quran and say, "Oh, that's satanic. That's wrong." So you still haven't actually dealt with it. How is your
Bro,
prophet
Prophet Muhammad is just a
influenced?
man, bro.
How is your
And he
prophet
don't talk his own
influenced?
desire. He talk in the will of God.
How is your
I don't know,
prophet?
bro. Y'all making no sense, bro. Like your God got
Well,
tempted by
Sir,
Satan.
no, okay, so
you're
that's what I'm
manifesting,
asking.
and I haven't even finished my
Bro,
question.
Brainy, if I talk now,
How
bro,
is
I know
your
if I talk, you're gonna
prophet?
blaspheme, but
Well,
it's fine. I'll
no,
have to
he's
talk
not
now.
blaspheming because he's asking is how can you agree or how can you not see that even the early Muslim scholars believe that Muhammad was tricked by Satan if Muhammad is this perfect prophet who only speaks of one God?
Let me
And
tell
if we're
you.
referencing it from Deuteronomy 18 where
Okay,
it says,
did
right,
your God
Moses talks
got
about that.
tempted by Satan?
But that's not what we're talking about right now.
Is this
We're
the
talking
same?
No.
about
Bro,
Muhammad.
that's the
It's
same
not the
No, he
same
didn't.
thing.
Guys, he's trying to run from the point.
I'm not
Sir,
Yeah.
running from the point,
sir,
bro. I'm
what's
asking you the
He's
same
tap
question you
dancing.
trying to ask me.
Ibarra,
Muhammad is a man,
please.
bro.
Ibarra, please. What you've just done is describe a tu quoque fallacy, which instead of actually answering the question, you want to try to throw it back on somebody else. That's called deflecting, and that's called a U2 fallacy.
Bro,
You're
let me
not
ask,
actually answering the question.
bro,
So
how I can answer 20 questions
if
at the same
Muhammad
time,
is
bro?
just a man, that's fine. But God in the Old Testament never let his prophets give a false prophecy or false words from Satan.
Bro,
God never let
let me,
that happen in the Old Testament. And especially if you're going to point to Matthew chapter 4, Satan tested Jesus, but as we see from Matthew chapter 4, that Jesus never gave in to the testing and reaffirmed his deity
Hmm.
in front of Satan. So
That's what I was gonna say.
you can't even refer to Matthew chapter 4 in order to get out of this.
bro,
So
that's your God,
please
though.
actually answer the question. How can Satan overpower your prophet by putting false words in his mouth?
Okay. So let me answer Odusi first, so I get back with you. Right? Odusi say Israel is not the son of God, right?
Repeat the question.
Go to Exodus 4:22-23 in your Bible. It will tell you who's the
That's
son
not
of
what I
God.
said. I never said anything about Israel. I said Ezra.
Are you answering a question with a question?
What's the verse in the Quran? What's the verse in the Quran?
Yeah. It's Surah chapter 9, verse 30.
For the
Bro,
Jews say that Ezra tales from of old, how deluded are they? As your Quran says in Surah 9:30. So who says who says that Ezra is the son of God in the
the Jews.
same way that the Christians said Jesus is the son of God?
Jews don't accept Jesus as the Son of God, the Messiah, God in the flesh, none of that, right? But it's comparing the way that Jews view Ezra as Christians view Jesus. So where do Jews view Ezra in the same way that as Christians view Jesus?
Bro, they did, bro.
No, they
Where?
didn't.
Where? Sure.
Where?
Alright, bro. Let me.
You
Bro,
said if we find a
He
mistake
don't
in the Quran, you
know.
will convert to Christianity. Today, welcome to Christianity, my brother. Welcome.
When
dude,
should
why
we
would
be
I,
expect?
bro?
When
Why
should
would I
we,
go to a religion that worshiping a man? Why would I do that?
sir?
He's making it perfectly clear he doesn't know.
Hold up, Ibarra. You said
Bro, why you
that
trying to attack me, bro?
if we found a mistake, you said that
No one can destroy a Christian in 2 minutes.
in the Quran, then you would become a Christian today.
Yeah.
We have just found a mistake in your Quran.
No, your Bible is the mistake.
By your own words, you said that you would become a Christian today. So when should we be expecting your baptism?
Yeah. It's time to say the sinner's prayer, my brother.
I'm nasty, but I baptize myself every day.
So apart from the Quran, where do you get that the Jews view Ezra as the son of God?
Bro, go ask the Jews, bro. They know what you're talking about. Go Israel and ask them.
Which ones?
Yeah, for real, which ones?
Because we've actually researched the issue. We wouldn't be laying the claim if we didn't research the issue. No Jew, either before Muhammad's time, during Muhammad's time, or after Muhammad's time, said that Ezra is the son of God in the same way that we say that Jesus is the son of God. So again, the Quran is describing a religion that no one holds to. This is the exact same era.
I don't know what the hell you're talking
This
about.
is the exact same era in
Ezra was a
Surah
prophet?
5:116, when apparently Allah on the Judgment Day is going to say to Jesus in reference to the Christians, "Did you tell the people to worship me and my mother as gods besides Allah?" No Christian believes in three gods, and no one ever believes Mary is a part of the Trinity. That is another error.
Bro, what's the name again? The Catholicism, whatever there was?
Sir, the Catholics don't believe that Mary's God.
Bro, is the different sect? Is the Catholicism? Whatever.
No, Catholicism is not.
You don't know.
Hold up.
You don't know your
Ibarra.
religion, bro. Go check it out.
Hold up, Ibarra. I
need to do more
interact
research,
with Catholics. I debate Catholics. And yet they don't.
I'm not saying Catholic, the Catholic in America. I'm not saying them. I'm saying
no. I'm talking about Catholicism in general, sir.
If you go to Google and say who's worshiping Mary,
Sir, with all due respect, I don't need Sheikh Google. I can pull up the canons of the Council of Trent and the Roman Catholic Catechism. I don't need to go to Sheikh Google. I know what they believe. And none of their confessions say that Mary is God or a member of the Trinity, sir.
You have 40,000 denominations. Do you know all of them?
No, sir. Why are you using this statistic? Because if you're using that statistic from the World Encyclopedia, then Roman Catholicism,
someone
which is
just said
actually,
it. I don't know who he was.
Ibarra,
can
you close your mouth for a second, sir?
No,
because
you
you're
close your
spelling
mouth,
a
bro.
whole bunch of things wrong.
You've been talking for 1 hour.
To correct
I was
you.
quiet.
Then be quiet,
He was
sir.
talking for a long time. I was
So
quiet.
again,
He's trying to
You
explain
don't even
something.
let
You
me
keep
talk,
cutting him
bro.
off, man. He's trying to explain. You keep cutting him
He didn't
off.
explain. Bro, I was quiet the whole time.
no,
No,
sir, you were
you
not. You've
definitely
been
cut him off
interrupting
in
me
the
this
middle.
whole
I didn't
time.
even talk. That's fine, bro.
So again, if you're going to use this false statistic, then you're going to have to say that Roman Catholicism, which is one denomination, has over 500 because there are multiple parishes in multiple countries. The same thing with Eastern Orthodoxy. And you're also going to have to say that Jehovah's Witnesses, Mormons, and tree huggers who don't even believe that there is one God, simply because they call themselves Christians in
Don't believe in one God, bro.
multiple parts of the world, are apparently Christian denominations. Because the World Council Encyclopedia is counting a particular congregation that identifies itself as Christian in any particular country as an entire denomination, sir. So please
Bro, when you
stop
gonna let me talk?
using that statistic. If we did it with Islam, we would have to take every single sect, Sunni, Shiite, Ahmadi, and then multiply it by the particular mosques that are found in every single country. So if you say that we have over 400,000 denominations, if we do the same thing for Islam, it would be about half that
40,000.
much.
40,000 denomination. don't say 400. 40,000.
So either way, sir, it would be half that much for Islam, because that's how they count denominations in that encyclopedia.
Okay, count me 10. Count me 10 denominations in Islam. 10 denominations do you know in Islam?
You count 10. How about that?
Yeah.
I just described at least three: Sunni,
Orthodox,
Shia, and Ahmadi.
Protestant, Baptism, faith, the faith church. Bro,
What?
Catholic.
Because you don't understand. Even within the Shia and Sunni, right, the denominations, not every
I can
mosque
count
believes in
right
the same. There's theological differences between even within denominational churches. So if you're going to say that each specific church is its own denomination, or because they don't all think the exact same way on issues that don't actually really contribute to your salvation, then you can attribute that to any religion, and there's thousands of sects or denominations between every religion.
This sect, they worshiping Mary
Calidrianism
as a god.
Hold up. What you're doing is you're looking at the Wikipedia. Wait, Brittany, I got this.
I've never heard of it, so go ahead.
No, I got this. Ibarra, you're looking at the Wikipedia article.
So let him explain. So let him respond.
No.
Someone just said it in your...
I'm letting him use his own source against him. Ibarra, read the Wikipedia article. What is the first paragraph that comes with the Wikipedia article?
If he won't, I will. What is it called?
Worship the Virgin Mary. Worship the Virgin Mary. I don't know what the hell you're
Sir.
How do you spell it?
Literally read the first sentence. Read the first sentence.
Was an alleged early Christian.
Alleged early Christian source. Early Christian group. And if you actually continue to read the document, it's not actually Christian. It's taken from an anachronistic. It's taken from some group in the
beautiful.
Sir, you're not listening.
Beautiful. Let me finish. Beautiful.
You're not listening, sir. I was the one who was talking, not you. So again, if you actually read the article, Calidrianism is an alleged group which we find has no actual existence. The only record that we possibly have of his existence is one theologian named Epiphanius, and he says that it is a syncretic group in the East which tries to add a multitude of images together. It's a group of all women where they apparently worship multiple women, including Mary. So as we see, there is very little.
Okay, beautiful. Let me answer now. Let me talk now. Make it fair. Let me talk. So go in the Quran, the verse you found in the Quran saying they worship Mary and Jesus. Find me anywhere in that verse saying only Christians worshiping Mary and Jesus.
What's the context in Surah 5?
Bro, it literally say, did you tell some people to worship me, to worship you and your mother as a god and as a deity? That's what the verse say. So find me anywhere in the
Who are the
Quran say
only
only
people who
Christians
worship
worshiping
Jesus as
Jesus and Mary.
God? Who are the only people to worship Jesus as
Yeah, you
God?
quiet now, bro.
Well,
What?
he's not quiet because I'm speaking right now. Who are the only people to worship Jesus as God?
Some random Christian. Not all the Christians do it.
Christians.
Not
So
all the
of course
Christians.
it's only applicable. Give me another religion that worships Jesus as God.
No one. Just some Christian. Not all the Christians.
Exactly.
Not
So
all
Some
when
the
Allah
Christians.
Christians.
Some
is speaking
Christians.
to Jesus, saying, did you tell them to worship you or your mother as God? Of course it's in
You
reliance to the
or your
Christians,
mother.
because also, who do you think is going to come back and tell the Christians that they were wrong about worshiping Jesus as God?
Jesus will come back.
Exactly. So who is this verse talking about?
He talk about he gonna ask Jesus, did you tell these people to worship you?
And so who does that apply to?
So who's the
Does it
people?
The people
exactly.
is like the people who's not gonna be here when Jesus come back. Like
No,
you,
who
probably
are
not gonna.
exactly?
Or the
So
people who
Christians,
already died in Christianity. Talk
right?
about those
Christians.
people.
So okay, it's talking
Miracle
about
of
Christians.
living
But
Give
those
me a
people who
verse.
gonna be here
Listen,
when Jesus come back,
give me a
they might
verse
be
in the
saved.
Bible. No, give me a verse in the Bible where Jesus tells us to worship his mother.
I don't know why they do it, but I don't know, but they do it.
No.
No,
Talk
Right?
about the Bible, but
you
they do it.
haven't even proven that these people actually exist. The very article that you went to says that they didn't actually
Bro,
exist.
they is still doing it, bro. Someone just said it here.
No, they
Someone just said it
don't.
here, and he was a Christian. I don't know. I think it was him.
No.
He said some
So
people take
here's
Virgin
what you
Mary
don't
as a god.
understand about
Bro, Bryn,
Catholicism.
stop being a hypocrite. You know that
I'm
someone
not
was
being a
here.
hypocrite. It's
We're
called the
not being
miracle of
Someone
hypocrites.
just said it
reinterpretation.
here. Someone
So I
Who?
said it
have to
here. It
go in a
was a
few minutes.
Christian
So
said
let
it
me
here.
explain.
Who?
Say,
Catholics don't think Jesus or that Mary is God.
I don't
Who
say
told you that?
Catholic, bro. Some Catholic in Europe do it.
Find
They
me one,
don't.
sir. Find me one.
So here's the thing: is that you
Bro,
and I, probably all three of
I
us.
found you
Well, I
one,
don't know
bro.
about Odeshi,
This is one.
right?
This is
You,
two.
Ibarra, and Black Doctor, and myself, we can all agree that
Mm-hmm.
praying to Mary, giving any kind of reverence to Mary, is not biblical, right? Because I mean, you're
But they do
you're a
it.
Christian, but
Worshipping
they
Jesus is
do
not
it. But
biblical.
here's the thing:
Worshipping
I
Jesus is not
listen.
biblical.
Okay, so here's the thing:
Actually,
is
it
that
is biblical.
Exactly.
The disciples worshiped him.
we're not talking about Jesus. We're talking about Mary. Praying to Mary, giving any kind of reverence to Mary, is not biblical. That is idolatry, and I don't agree with it.